A woman is sitting there with the policeman. He says, "I just want the facts, ma'am." She says, "Damn, I only brought this printed copy." Alright, so this one's for all my Ivy League snowballs. We're gonna get fucking real here. I hope I can make it a little funny too. I'm gonna try. Okay, so a lot of talk in today's world about privilege. I think it's an excellent term. And I think by and large, it's actually applied correctly by people who are left of center in our country, left wing. Yeah. Is it always no? Is it a fucking buzzword? Yes, of course it is. Buzzwords usually get to be buzzwords because there's some truth behind the origin of whatever is going on, and because people are using a word appropriately often, that word becomes more frequently used. Take the word synergy, for example. Synergy is an excellent term for two things working well together or more, groups of things working well together and potentiating each other's action. Very good example of this, something I have experience with. Sedating a patient with Versed and fentanyl. I'm talking about fentanyl in the hospital. It's controlled. Some of you might be freaking out because you heard of fentanyl on the street, and that shit's fucking dangerous because fentanyl is measured in micrograms. Ivy League, I'm sure you've had chemistry classes, and I'm sure you know that micrograms is not something that's easy to measure in a chemistry lab if you're like me and you just took some chemistry that you needed because you thought you were going to go to medical school, and then you switched over to nursing. Then you just took a basic first level chemistry class, and you probably never measured any shit in micrograms. You might have estimated micrograms once, maybe, if you got to use the good scale. Maybe the good scale goes to micrograms. I don't think it does, but it might. Anyway, it's hard to measure in micrograms, and it's hard to measure in micrograms accurately. So if you're getting fentanyl on the street, that drug dealer doesn't fucking have the scale he needs to or she needs to measure that shit out right. Now this is gonna piss you fucking off, Ivy League, especially if you're going into criminal justice or something like that. These motherfuckers selling fentanyl on the street should be given for free scales that can measure micrograms, because if they're going to deal this fucking shit to people, they should have a way to measure it accurately if they fucking want to, so they aren't killing their goddamn consumers. Because I'll let you in on another secret. I would trust these motherfuckers just as much as I trust Purdue Pharma, because those motherfuckers killed tens of thousands of Americans with the FDA's permission, with an addictive substance that everybody agreed wasn't fucking addictive. Those motherfuckers are going to walk with all their goddamn money and their company intact. I haven't looked up the story in a while because it sickens me and I just don't want to hear about it anymore. But the Purdue family is as bad or worse than anybody dealing narcotics in the US today. So fuck you, Purdue family. And fuck your name on all the Ivy League things. It should be burnt off of the buildings, and you should be left in disgrace with nothing, with no reputation, and with only rotting corpses to cover yourself with as blankets. You disgusting, despicable people. Fuck you. Now, I was going somewhere with this snowballs. Privilege. Purdue family. Goddamn excellent demonstration of privilege. Yeah. You've got privilege, Ivy League. Some of you are minorities who got in on scholarships or really did earn your way there. That doesn't mean you're not acting in privilege now. It'd be silly for me as an American of any sort to say that I don't have privilege, but I'm a white male American, so I have goddamn shit tons of privilege. Am I doing anything real with it? Am I really helping in any way? Oh yeah, I'd like to pretend so. But am I really? When I really think about it, when I really think about what my money could do somewhere else in the world, no, I'm not doing much with it. Is that fair? Well, end stage capitalism says it is. But it's not. It's not okay for me to be okay with the enslavement of others to get what I want. It's not okay for you to be okay with that either. And probably many of your households that you grew up in have the equivalent of indentured servants. I mean, yeah, they're probably treated well. But I'm telling you what, throughout our society's history, there's been people who've been treated well, who are not free to do what they want, and are not free to get the same thing the rest of us have. And if Ivy League, if we're going to pretend that somebody born in an inner city in America who only has the option of public school has a real shot at being where you are, that's just a pipe dream. Every once in a while, yeah, we're going to let somebody through. There's going to be some sort of prodigy or somebody that we're going to let through just to prove that we do let people through. But come on. Most of you went to prep school. Most of you went to really, really prestigious places. And I'm not saying you didn't have trauma, Ivy League. I know you did. Your parents probably didn't give a fucking shit about you, and they probably ditched you off on other people. And you don't really have parents except for maybe a nanny. You know, some of you. And that's traumatic. That's horrible. And yeah, for a lot of the inner city kids, they did have a parent. Maybe sometimes two. But I'm telling you what, this is all by design. Ivy League, your shit's by design. The way we treat the inner city and the poor, that's all by design. This is not an accident. This is not happenstance. This is government policy that is hard and awful and nasty over and over and over again. This is us bulldozing Black communities with eminent domain just to make sure that we take the wealth out of that community. Like, this is atrocity upon atrocity upon atrocity. And each generation saying, you know what, I'm going to keep participating. You know what, I'm going to keep doing the same shit. At least I'm not as bad as my parents were or my grandparents were. They were the racist. I'm not a racist. And I'm just going to call bullshit. Our country is a racist country. It always has been. Now, there's some argument for something else that I actually would kind of agree with, but if I say that shit, it's going to sound racist, so I'm not going to say it. Look, Ivy League, we all have a choice. I have a choice. I'm going to face reality where I'm going to risk hell here or later or whatever the fuck is going on. You have that choice too, Ivy League. Just because you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth was a massively offensive thing to say in ways. Doesn't mean that you can't choose a different path. You can. All of us can choose a different path. There's always a choice to be made, but often that choice is between despicable things that are unthinkable for certain people. Let's say somebody is born into an exceptionally poor country and that their parents have 2 children. They know they can support one of those children if they sell the other into sex trafficking. And they know if they don't do that thing, both children will suffer and likely both children will die. The fuck are you gonna do? Given a choice between being sex trafficked and dying, I'd want to say I'd choose dying, but I love living. I like survival. Like, come on, folks. Anyway, I'm in the weeds here. And honestly, I know I'm probably not going to convince somebody of anything they don't already believe. I'm not that powerful. I'm not that influential. I'm likely not saying anything people haven't heard before. So, I'll leave you with this, Ivy League. I wish I was you. Genuinely. I wish I was you. Because my life's been hard, and it seems to me that the level of money most of you have would help fix that. But the truth is, Ivy League, there probably ain't nothing that's gonna fix me. There's probably nothing that's gonna fix you. We've all bought into this lie. We've all bought into this propaganda. God save our souls. Hope I did you proud. Good night.